Hey, Alex.
Hi, John.
You know what I hate?
No, I don't. What do you hate?
Time. The passage of time.
Oh, why's that?
Well, there was a recent interview with Martin Scorsese in Deadline where he talked about being 80 years old and how he just now discovered that there's so much more he can do with cinema. He's just realizing more and more he can do, but there's just no time. And that also tells me that he just watched Unmasking the Idol, because that's the only thing that could expand your cinematic horizons.
The masked man and the devil's gold is a story about to be told.
This movie is the prequel, aka the first of the two Duncan Jacks films. We should probably set the stage of who Duncan Jacks is, because for our audience that has not listened to Order of the Black Eagle, our episode number 64, I have no fucking idea. It is a group of people called the Polo Players Limited.
It's like 5. It's like episode 5.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I was only 59 off.
I didn't look it up either.
Yeah. So they are out of North Carolina, and this producer guy had the idea that he wants to produce movies in North Carolina, and he had money and he had a script that was this one, and they went, all right, I guess we're doing it. And this movie, they were like, oh, this was so great. We're just going to immediately make Order of the Black Eagle. So they went back to back. And other than what I can find, one character in this movie, no one else has ever been in anything else other than the two movies.
Wow.
Yeah, there's somebody in this one that was like on Will and Grace or Seventh Heaven. Some Jesus word that's not a Jesus show that we have heard of is in this one. But everybody else has just been in these two, and they're not in anything else. And it's kind of baffling because these are... they're really well-made B movies. They're like, they look good. The story is cohesive. They've got lots of stunts. There's money, and that's it.
It's okay. I kind of went into this going like, okay, well, in more recent times, my brain has melted, and I've also gotten way more into like old genre movies, just like genuinely loving crummy 80s movies and whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I wonder if this is gonna, make me want to go back, look at Black Eagle and be like, no, I was probably too harsh on it. No, absolutely not. I think Black Eagle is way better than this one.
Correct.
I think this one has like a lot of issues. There's still some great stuff about it. Like there's some of the cinematography is pretty cool. I actually really like the sets.
Yeah, the sets are great.
Yeah, like the Scarlet Leader's lair is great. I think that's cool. I think it's just because it might not like hold up to like what you can do now digitally, but thinking about like this was a space that someone built, I think is really neat.
No, it's rad.
The good guy's base is pretty cool. But yeah, pacing is real weird in this movie. Like in terms of particularly the big action scene at the end is very like stop start. When the twist happened, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that person was in the movie.
Yeah.
But
true. This is not nearly as good as Order of the Black Eagle, but it's still remarkable for what it is. Like that they put, because I've seen so many bad B movies that like wanted to do this. And this is a well-orchestrated, like, what every shot's doing. Like, yeah, the pacing's terrible. The acting's not great. But, like, they told a really cohesive story. Like, I knew what was happening the entire time. I kind of knew why it was happening. I mean, this is more cohesive than the Star Wars prequels. Like, this is a story. Like, they did it. I'm, like, proud of these guys. And it's just weird they didn't make more shit. It's odd.
Yeah.
Ian Hunter, the lead guy who plays Duncan Jacks, he's like weirdly charming. Like he's also, I noticed this time, and by saying notice this time, please don't tell me I said it last time, because like I don't remember anything. He opens his eyes real wide every time he's gonna talk.
Yeah,
it's really, once you notice it, you can't not see it.
He actually seems way more psychotic in this one.
Yes,
I found him like I didn't have a chance to revisit Order of the Black Eagle. He is a lot more like dead-eyed stare in this one than like charming James Bond, and I feel like they kind of amped that up more in Black Eagle.
I think this one they were going for, there was a couple of things that I noticed in this one that maybe was in Order of the Black Eagle, but I don't remember it is. There's a ton of movie references in this. Like he quotes other movies, like it's a very, cinema aware film. But I don't remember in Order of the Black Eagle them being so direct with the Bond ripoffs. Like he literally says 007 in this. He quotes Man with the Golden Gun, kind of like, I don't remember Order of the Black Eagle, them being so like it's obvious, but it's not as on the nose.
This one also sort of vacillates between being a style parody of the whole thing and just being a bad movie. Like there's weird things that you could go either way. Cause like There's a part where there's a villain, and we'll get to it. There's a villain named Goldtooth that's helping out the big baddie, the Scarlet Leader. And when Goldtooth arrives at the Scarlet Leader's lair, this ninja guy comes up and says,
Scarlet Leader, a huge man with gold teeth who refuses to identify himself, has arrived.
In this very kind of stilted way that makes it sound like that's the name of the character. And I'm like, well, was that done for a joke or was that just really crappy dialogue? And
I think it's kind of both.
I don't have an answer. Yeah. And so like this movie rides that line.
Just because I'm never going to remember to do this later in the movie. Ahem. Gold Molar, the man with the golden tooth. Okay.
Yeah, I have some questions about him at the end, but it doesn't.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was very clear.
Okay.
Like when he bites the fucking. Oh, yeah, we'll get to it. It's so.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, as we just have, because I'm not down on this movie. It's just not nearly as good as the second one. Yeah, I was excited when I saw it was 91 minutes, and it's still dragged enough that I'm like, damn it, I wanted to watch like a nice breezy, just it's an hour and a half. Yeah, that's easy. Snap this thing off. But there was times where it was like the opening sequence, I kind of fast forward a little, like not like the opening credit thing. I was like, I don't need to sit through this. I don't care what's going on in the background.
The song is great, and there's a fantastic transition to the title where a silhouette gets like filled in with a grid. Like that was great. And yeah, it's just got this very fake Bond sung by a guy, but just about how great Duncan Jacks is. It made me think of the Homer Simpson Max Power.
I thought the Max Power
love to touch, but you must never touch.
I exactly. I had that in my head quite a bit too. Order of Black Eagle. Did that one open with him doing a ninja stealing thing too? Isn't that the same opening?
Yeah, it was the same opening where there was the Sultan guy that's like, I'm going to go check on my gems, who I think is the same actor who played.
It is. It's the guy that plays Guillermo del Toro in this one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, my gems, and then Duncan Jacks sneaks in and steals them. It's not clear what he's getting. He's getting a micro cassette that has something on it. And then they're like, don't worry about it. That's just it's like any Bond movie has like this separate opening of action.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with, because at no point do you need to know what's on that cassette. It's like, nope, that was just the action piece that we get to introduce our man, Duncan Jacks. This movie really starts off strong because I was like, oh, that's a fun sequence. That jumps into the water, does like explodes a gas balloon. These movies are very balloon heavy, by the way.
Yeah.
So explodes a gas ball and then flies away on a balloon, which great. It's so stupid.
Well, there's so much in this, because first of all, like when he jumps out the window and it's clearly just a mannequin that they just hurled.
Oh no, come on. That was Duncan. That was Ian Hunter the whole time.
And then just very stiffly standing in this like almost like hands touching position. Yeah, he hides at the bottom of a pool, which would have been like, if they actually like filmed the top of the pool for that same angle where they couldn't see it, I think that would have sold it a little bit better, because otherwise it's just them looking in the pool going like, I can't see him. And you're like, what? It's clear water. What are you talking about? Yeah, he launches something that they shoot and it gasses them all and he flies away in a giant black scrotum. It's great.
It's so great. Oh, we also, sorry, I skipped over, because again, the beginning was like, yes, this is going to be as good as Black Eagle. The thugs run into the room to try to stop him with guns in their hand and then attack him physically. They don't bother to try to shoot him. They run at him with gun in hand. I'm like, this is fucking great. Like, this is so good. And they some of those thugs, I'm pretty sure, are in the second one. And I think maybe in other movies, because like they've got generic, maybe they're just generic thug, but the one guy seemed very familiar to me. Next amazing thing, that like his fuck pad in the middle of the woods that you have to take like a 4-wheel truck up to. And it looks like Troy McClure's in the back humping a fish. Like it's so beautiful. It's just this gaudy, just brutally 1980s building. I don't know where they found it. I want to live there. The White House that's like just made of like Duran Duran album covers. I don't know what that means, but it makes sense.
I want to say that it was like forced perspective, but I'm not sure, because like they do this, they make it a point. And actually, this occurred to me in the shot and it kind of blew my mind. Make it a point. You see his stupid car pull up, his awesome beat up pickup truck that every cool spy should have. He and Boone, the baboon, get out. They walk down the hallway, and the camera follows them the entire time. And they walk by the camera, and they walk down a bunch of different hallways, and then get to the big main room where it's happening, where the main base is. And I was like, oh my god, that's just a one take. You built all this. This was an existing space. That's amazing. It's undercut by the following scenes, almost all being just like shot, reverse shot, shoulder up close ups of like not really using the space, but. It's still pretty cool.
A lot of the 1986 shows in this where the wizened old Asian man shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And his name is like Mr. Sato, which, hey, Inception.
And the second one is much more of a Q figure. He makes a couple of inventions in this, but they really play up the Q, James Bond Q, not the truth teller, the brave truth teller that's going to save America.
Yeah.
We skipped over the whole thing where, because it seems like it doesn't matter. After he gets the microcassette and escapes, that they're like, good job, no vacation, we need you back on the job tomorrow. And he is at a casino and flirts with this Asian woman named China.
Oh, I forgot that happens. Yeah, he has the tux on under his ninja outfit, a la the James Bond, the Connery Bond, when he's got his tux on under the scuba suit.
Yeah, that's where he makes the 007 joke, because he makes he makes a split roulette bet.
The usual split bet, sir?
Yes. 00 and 7.
Very good, sir.
My name is Jax. Duncan Jax.
It's just amazing the balls of this low budget movie. It's fine to steal. You're a B movie. It's totally, and I don't mean that like sarcastically. You're a B movie. That's what you do. You do pastiches of other stuff. But to actually say 007, like, Jesus, like, it's fine when he goes Jax, Duncan Jackson, whatever. It's funny. But like,
well, there is
007. Jesus Christ.
You might have seen the Mystery Science Theater 3000 of it. There is a movie called like Operation Kid Brother, otherwise known as Operation 007, starring Neil Connery. Yeah, and they keep making reference, like Moneypenny is in it, and they keep referencing his brother, but he's not technically a Bond.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry, because I don't think we talked about this last time, but if we did, I just want to reiterate. I don't know how these movies got into my consciousness. Because when we were discussing Order of the Black Eagle, episode 1, the first episode we ever did, I think I asked you where you found it. And you're like, no, Alex, you introduced me to this.
It was a listener suggestion.
Oh, is that was it a listener? Oh, okay, that would make sense. I have no memory of it. I'm like, I would have put money that John introduced me. Like, I don't know how these movies entered in my life. Well, thank you, nameless listener. You have a name, obviously.
But then he and China inexplicably have sex after he wins.
Wait, is her name actually China?
Her name's China. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I didn't have the subtitles on it. I wasn't sure if I was just mishearing it. Okay.
Yeah. And then I love this exchange because they have sex and he's like, I love a, what does he say?
Oh yeah, no. He goes, so he pops open a champagne and goes,
I always like to start my day off with a bang.
Her name's China. Sorry, I really thought I misheard that. That's amazing.
There's some fun anti-Asian racism in this movie with him and Sato as well. Then she's like, hey, can I ask you a question? What do you know about ninjas? And he goes like, oh, you mean like the guy that caused all the ruckus earlier? You're a shitty ninja. Like, people shouldn't know you exist. If you're a ninja, why would you be causing a ruckus? That seems antithetical to ninja-ing.
Him going ninja, like he'd never heard the word. It's 1986. You know what a fucking ninja is, dude. Like, that's like a cottage industry at this point.
Yeah, it did make me think, like, when did, like, ninja just become a thing that you knew? You know what I mean? Like, when did it become part of the popular culture? Because, like, in the 60s, where people were like, yeah, no, I know what ninjas are. When I was, like, first grade, I was very aware of ninjas. And that was in the 60s?
87-ish.
But anyway, then she notices that he has a baboon and somehow puts together that he is indeed a ninja. And he's still...
Well, the baboon is dressed like a ninja. I mean, it's
but that's the baboon, not him. But then they end up having like breakfast the next day, and she's still on him about it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I gotta go. And there's some dudes like hassling Boone outside. That's not why he's out there though. He's calling Star to get his boss, who seems much less like his dad in this one. So he can't do the boss dad thing.
Oh yeah. I really forgot that first movie.
This one hurt. This one was a gut punch where he sees Boone and then like he looks up and I'm in a phone booth. Might as well. And he transforms into he puts on his ninja costumes to go like kick one guy. But just that wackiness hurt. That was
a bad one. But also Boone kind of was instigating it. Like he's sitting there doing this middle finger thing. Like Boone's an asshole in this, and Duncan Jackson's an asshole in this too at times.
Yeah.
But here's something I'm real fucking tired of. And then the monkey jumps on his arm. So Duncan just slaps his arm, and the monkey jumps up. You don't have to show me every time, dude. I'll understand if the monkey's on the ground, and then we cut to another scene, or we cut to them walking around the corner, and the monkey's on his arm. I'm not gonna go, oh my god, what the fuck's happening? It's been established 7 to 30 times already. Just just once or twice, fine, we get it. It's like if you're watching a falconry movie, like that one with Matthew Broderick. Motherfucker lands on your arm once. Later in the film, that bird can be on the arm, and you're not going to go, whoa, what is he, some kind of mutant that grows a falcon out of his arm? My mind's blown.
Yeah. But then it cuts to China watching them out the window, looking skeptical, like, oh, I wonder if that's Duncan Jacks. And then whatever. Then he goes to his awesome pad, which the good guy base, which we talked about.
Yeah, the fuck lair. Yeah.
Yep.
I call it the fuck lair for one, because from the outside it looks like a fuck lair. But two, there's a full swinger hot tub scene.
Yes, well, that's great because after they do, because then he gets the lowdown from the boss about the next thing, about how like there's this island. I forget what it's called now. Dragon.
It's
something.
Satan's anus or something.
Devil's Cross.
Devil's yeah, it's Devil's something. Yeah, sorry, Devil's Crown.
Devil's Crown. Okay.
So we find out the lowdown to it, but like Duncan Jacks gets convinced to do this because his boss goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, Goldtooth is there. He's the one that killed your parents."
Yeah. Well, actually, no. What he says is
one more thing. Our sources have confirmed that the organization that supports the Scarlet Leader was responsible for the death of your parents, namely Baron Hugo von Brunner.
It's this very like clumsy way to go about it, and Duncan Jacks has really no reaction to that. By the way, his boss also in this, they went, hey, what if we made Bellic from Raiders of the Lost Ark? What if he was a good guy? Because he just totally looks like Bellic with the hat and everything. It's ridiculous.
I was calling him Bellic in my notes the entire time, because also I don't know what his name is.
It's Star.
So wait, his name's Star, and then the bad guys have a lady with star makeup, like the Ziggy Stardust looking person?
Yeah. That's Echo.
Well, how about, no, his name should be Echo, and her name should be Star.
Well, too bad.
I'm going to go back in time and talk to these people. Hey, do you think it would be possible, audience at home, the millions upon millions of listeners that we have, you think one of y'all could figure out where Ian Hunter is right now and like see if he could do like not even like a full interview, like a cameo. Like, well, wait, I'll pay him $50. I just want to ask him some questions. Like, I just want to know like a little bit of the backstory of this.
Yeah, there is the Vinegar Syndrome released a Blu-ray of this that does have a making of documentary on it.
No shit.
The little 68 thing. Yeah, I only found out about it today, so I kind of want to check that out.
Of this one or Black Eagle?
This one.
Oh, no shit.
I believe just this one. I don't think it's a 2-pack. I think it's just this one. But because I just watched it. It was streaming on Amazon.
Yeah, that's why I watched it this time too. Yeah.
Kind of want to check that one out.
I'm gonna write that down because I'm honestly curious. It just baffles my mind how well put together. I mean, I'm not saying these are great movies. These are the type of movies that they're in the documentary when like the guy that made him made a really good movie, that like the next movie he made, The Terminator or something, like these should be the first two shitty ones. Are like, oh wow, some studio noticed, you know how to put together a shot. Like, look how much you did for 1.5 billion. Here, have 20, see what you can do. But no, they made 2 movies and then just fucked off the planet.
I mean, like Worth Keeter got a bunch of jobs directing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, not like right away, but like in '89, he did the Trapper County War, followed by L.A. Bounty.
No, he works. It just feels like it should have been, I don't know. This should have been the origin story of like a guy we've heard of. And it wasn't. Yeah. Same goes for Ian Hunter. It's just weird. I will give my Ian Hunter fact now. Turns out Ian Hunter, after this, decided that he doesn't like acting and became an artist.
Oh, well, good for him. Yeah, I totally get it. There used to be, when I was younger, there used to be, and I probably have said it on the show, we're like, oh, whatever happened to that guy? Like, what, his career, I guess, went nowhere. But there's legitimate things where people go, no, I hate this, and then leave. Because particularly like, I like the stage a lot more than making movies. Making movies actually sucks. Or, you wonder about someone like Guy Pearce, who, it's like, I think he's a great actor, but then, maybe he's like, I want to do more work just in Australia because that's where my family lives. I don't want to live in America. So I'm not going to be in that many American movies. I don't know. But, there are legitimate reasons people step away from this stuff. It's not always just failure.
Do you know if he's either gay or a serial stabber?
Yes.
I was just checking the nominative determinism value of Guy Pearce.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Yeah, I know you did. And I overexplained it because it's fun that way.
No, I'm for it. I'm glad you did. It cuts to the only title card we see in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, the mission begins. What? It wasn't just like, 2 days later. It just tells you the mission is starting now.
That was weird.
It's extremely weird. And then it cuts to him Duncan Jacks doing a bunch of ninjutsu against other people that are ninjas. Oh, turns out those are his compadres. and they're going on the mission too. This has just been training. And then, then they all, oh, what a tough training sesh. Let's all go hang out in the community hot tub.
Wow. By the way,
because it starts with just the two of them, with just him and the woman, Gunner or whatever. And then it like kind of like pans around and pulls out, and like everybody is in the hot tub.
It is
everybody.
Can you imagine the froth of STD that is in that tub right there? Just these slimy fucking 80s actors.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I mean, in real life, not in the Duncan Jackson
I have
world.
been on a cruise before. At the very beginning, the hot tub pool at the very beginning, compared to at the end, oof, night and day. Because like there's just like a thin film of sunscreen and other gross nastiness just over everything. It's awful.
Yeah.
So it's got to be not great in there. Just boiling in a bunch of Duncan Jacks.
Which, by the way, not for nothing. I had sex in a hot tub once, and it was terrible. Like it was the most uncomfortable thing in the world. So I don't understand why they're supposed to be sexy.
That made a novelty value, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a sign of wealth and class.
And that nozzle chafed.
I think you're supposed to have sex in a hot tub, not with a hot tub.
Okay. You know what? I'm kind of putting together what went wrong there. So I needed another person involved.
Arguably, yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so they're all hanging out in the hot tub, and this is like, I forget if this is the first or the second time, like his coworker comes up, the old guy, who's like, no, I'm not going to hop in the hot tub. I'm too old for this shit. And there's a little back and forth about how like, I'm actually not too old. Don't denigrate me because I showed you the ropes, really showing that they have an antagonistic relationship, which will really surprise you later when what happens.
You know, so here's the surprising thing about that sequence. Ian Hunter is a graying guy that's about 60% bald. He's full on balding, certainly has enough hair to not say he's bald. Gray at the temples.
But his hairline is receding.
Yeah, gray at the temples. I don't know that he can do the there's two kinds of people, those who live fast and those who die young, or whatever the fuck he says. Those who run fast and those who die or something. Dude, you're like 15 years younger than him tops. Like this is a weird fucking dynamic here.
But those are spy years. That's in spy years. So you age a lot faster doing all the sneaking.
Yeah. And all that nozzle fucking.
And then and what they have to do is, so I feel like it's a John Wick thing. Like I would praise John Wick for not explaining any of this, but here it doesn't make any sense. And I think it's just an execution, because in order to get to the island, they need to get a guy called the Whale who has a map for the island. But to get the guy named the Whale, they got to find a guy named Bugs.
Yes. And Bugs also is a demolitions expert.
The Bugs thing seems like such a waste of time, because
I liked him as a character and I found that scene funny, but you're right, it is a waste of time. Mostly because
it's just because they don't really do much with him.
But they also set up, when they go the Bug to get to the Whale, during that scene, they reference that the Whale's in a Caribbean prison. So you know where he is already. Why do you got to get Bug?
Do you need the explosives to make your getaway? I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. They break into the Bugs' lair, or it's just Bugs, not the Bugs. Break into Bugs' lair, have Boone dispatch the guards with a smoke bomb. Oh, they get into a closing wall room, which I always like to see in movies.
Yeah, big fan of that.
That's just a classic kind of spy thing. And I will get credit to Saw 5. They do one of those to completion. Because so often it's like last minute trash compactor, we got out of there. But
that's cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen that happen.
Yeah, because I don't know that I have either. Or if it does, it's very much like kind of off screen, and it's Saw, so it's rather grisly.
Hey, interesting thing about Saw 5. There's a podcast of like two guys discussing it. I don't. What was the name of that?
This may hurt a bit with me and James Strayer.
Look at that.
So, plug time.
The most natural plug that's ever happened.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, since we're in the plugs portion, I have something to say. I meant to clear this with you first, but I didn't. I wrote a book called Periphery. It's a novel. It's available on Amazon.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So in June, on the 6th, I think, is 10 years since I published it.
Good gravy.
And I am not dealing with this well on a mental level. So I'm asking all of you people out there, and I'm saying this isn't like a casual thing. Like, can you please, for the love of fuck, go on Amazon and leave me a nice review? Like, not like, this isn't like a fun, like, call that. Like, I really feel like I'm wasting my life here. And just give me some hope. Like, I haven't sold one in like a year. Like, no one cares. And no one, it should have found an audience and it didn't. Please help your humble podcast friend Alex not have a complete and utter existential breakdown.
Wasting your life. You're talking about unmasking the idol to an audience of 3.
You know what?
What do you mean wasting your life?
Wait. One, we have significantly more than 3. That's my other show that has no listeners. This one has a mediocre amount of listeners. 2, I meant wasting my life in the stuff that I wanted to do, like to give my life meaning.
Not talk to me.
No. So you're no. What I'm saying is,
I'm making this about me. That's what's happening.
But I'm going to compliment you here. If in the past you said, "Hey, Alex, you're going to have people listen to you and your friend fuck around talking about movies," hell yeah.
That's true.
Check mark, satisfactory part of my life. However, this has nothing to do with the years I went to college, cared, and thought my soul would be fulfilled by writing a novel, and then it didn't, and I'm still in pain. So go to Amazon.
Do what you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah,
right?
except you feel mental anguish constantly. So go to Amazon, Alex Bollen, ALEXXBOLLEN. It's called Periphery. I mean, feel free to buy it and read it. That would be great.
It's a good book.
Yeah, like that'd be terrific. I have other books in there too, but just leave a review. You have Amazon. I'm begging you, just go on your fucking app right now. Go to there and leave a review. Like, I know how many there are right now. That's how long it's been since I got one. Leave me a fucking review. All right. Now back to our fun show that Alex makes dick jokes.
So yeah, then Duncan Jacks they meet up with Bugs.
Oh, just when they go to his apartment, there's mannequins all over the place and like World War, like he's like a weird militia nut. And when he goes in, he's hanging from the ceiling in a harness and then shoots guns at them to announce his presence. It's kind of an awesome scene.
Yeah. Well, he's like, Jax, you should have made an appointment. I think that's why I'm bummed about it, is because there's not more with him, or like they don't spend a lot of time with him. Like, well, this is a crazy interesting character, and you just sideline him immediately because their interaction isn't even really that interesting. He's just like, I need to get to the whale. I need money. Yeah, how about this much? Yeah, whatever. Bye. And then they move on to the South American prison or the Caribbean prison to go rescue the whale, who is the same actor who played the bad guy in Order of the Black Eagle. And apparently he can't not do accents. He can't do accents, but he can't not do accents.
And I can't stress enough how much he looks like Guillermo del Toro. I'd be shocked if I didn't bring that up in the other episode. I'm not going to listen
Actually,
to
you
it,
said
though.
he looked like Brian Blessed in that episode.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I almost did a Brian Blessed right there. Ooh.
And I like him in this because he's a lot livelier than in Order of the Black Eagle.
Yeah, he's fun in this.
Yeah, so I enjoyed him, his performance. His accent is like a Russian accent. It's kind of ridiculous, but he was fun.
Yeah.
But
did we get to whatever? I want to talk about it now because it's around this part of the movie, or we skipped over it. We go back to Red Leader's lair, and 2 people from a boat happen to be washed up.
Two old people.
One lady in a wheelchair and this guy. And he's sitting on a throne with 2 water slides that leads into a pool of piranhas. And motherfucker just drops her wheelchair on the slide. And they just slide this old lady into a pool of piranha. And it is maybe the best scene I've ever seen in my life.
It was amazing because I thought maybe they were spies or something. They were going to reveal like, oh, you got us. We were actually spies. No, they are literally just an old couple who got shipwrecked on the island. Who's like, you weren't invited, so you have to go.
Bullets, do you recall the film classic Kiss of Death? Let's stroll down memory lane with the old lady here. The memorable staircase sequence. My favorite.
I would very frequently be like, don't make me think of a better movie in your movie. But I love that you just referenced this old noir to kill an old lady. Like, that was such a weird pull.
It was beautiful.
I was like, why not? Why not?
On that scene note, so I've watched a fair amount of James Bond, but I'm not like an expert at James Bond. In the old 60s Bonds, I know you don't see tits. But do you not see blood in those either? Because this is bloodless. A shitload of people die, but there's never blood. Like multiple people get eaten by piranhas and there's not like a blood flow. Was that a Bond thing, or is just this movie
I
maybe
feel like
just
there's not a lot of blood in a lot of Bonds. There's a lot of just like, ooh, falling over. Kind of the same way when the big tough guy gets shot at the end, where like you just see like black marks on the,
which, by the way,
whatever.
What a great time from like 74 to about 87. What a great time to be like a dumb big guy.
Oh yeah.
And be in the acting industry. Every movie has that dumb guy that's like, oh, he's going to be super strong and then end up getting shot or dies in some other hilarious way. Like it's man, that was a cottage industry for a while.
It's been done a bunch where you make a clone of someone and they're like bigger and dumber. I feel like the Ninja Turtles did that. Double Dragon has done that with Bimmy and Jimmy, but I feel like it's been done a bunch where we've made a copy of a copy and that copy is weird.
Yeah.
And this guy is like a copy of Flash Gordon, the actor.
Oh, that's funny. I was thinking he's
or Dauber.
Dauber. That's fucking beautiful. Dauber was. I was trying to think of. I didn't know how well Coach was remembered, and I was trying to think of something else that guy was in. Because didn't he play MOON?
The Stand.
Yeah.
I forget that character's name. Tom something.
Yeah, whatever.
Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
but that guy actually was Dan Spivey, a professional wrestler, now retired.
I was gonna say the way that he picked up the old guy and threw him into the piranha pit.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very like that guy's a trained professional wrestler. It just had that look of like, oh, he knows how to do this. It's like his body. And Dan Spivey, now that I think about it, was actually a very famous wrestler. I've actually heard of him, or somebody else with the last name Spivey. But like that's a very familiar wrestling. Like I haven't really been into wrestling for like 20 years, so I don't really remember. But like that name sounds very familiar to me.
But his character name is Bullets, and which is a great name. And he is one of the Red Scarlet Leader's henchmen. Scarlet Leader, by the way, is sitting on a throne and covered in, is wearing a ninja outfit, but is also wearing a mask and like goggles, and their voice is distorted.
Yes,
you have no idea who the Scarlet Leader is. So his henchmen among the other ninjas are Bullets, and this woman named Echo, who's kind of like in wrestling garb herself. Like has a ridiculous outfit and her face is all made up, but like they gave her a frown. Whatever paint is on her face, like looks like a frown. So she just looks like a tired waffle waitress. Like it's, it's like, just what's your order? You kids, you don't tip. I'm so tired of this.
So this is the dumbest thing in the universe, but like in my head, she looks like if they ever did like, so they've got the Running Man, and that did so well that they start doing the Running Woman, and she's one of the murderers in the Running Man maze. She's got the big old face thing. She's a ice woman.
But after they get done, you get a little taste of how awful the guy is. And I think is that when Goldtooth shows up, right on the heels of that? Or
Goldtooth rolls up and has a conversation with what's the actual
the Scarlet Leader.
Scarlet Leader. And
it's basically just like, imagine Cobra Commander, but red instead of blue.
Yes.
That's basically it.
Yeah, and talking through like a speak and spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he rolls up and he's like, hey, man, I'm a jerk. And he's like, no, but I'm a bigger jerk. And they have like a jerk conversation. Like, what I really want is gold. Like, what I really want is like, make sure you give me gold and let's have a tense conversation. And then it's all resolved.
What you're told at the beginning when Star is explaining this to Jax, is that basically the gold tooth is going, like, Supreme Leader has all this, or the Scarlet Leader has all this gold that he's going to give to Goldtooth to put, or sell to Goldtooth or something, to put nuclear weapons on a submarine that Goldtooth has. But then, like, that's not really the problem. Like, the thing is not we have to stop the nuclear submarine, it's we have to get the gold.
Yeah.
And it's strange that you put this plot, this like spy plot on what is essentially a heist. So rather than making it about that, you just made it a weird heist movie.
That brings up a larger question of under what like judicial auspice does Duncan Jax operate?
Yeah. That was something we talked about in Order of the Black Eagle too, because it seems like just this third party spy thing. Like the governments are like, hey, we can't have the CIA or Mossad or MI6 or whatever do this. You guys take care of it. It doesn't matter. It's comic booky. It's just what the hell is G.I. Joe? But
well, he's a great American hero.
Not the guy, but the organization.
Well, because G.I. Joe is there.
What military branch is that?
Probably Marines. I have a thought that I bet you that the same people that hired Duncan Jacks hired Diablo League.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Diablo League is a lot snazzier.
That was a joke for 3 people tops.
I straight up talking about movies that MST. I just straight up watched that the other day.
Oh, really?
I had a book on Mario Bava that I was checking out, and he directed that, and it's stylish as hell.
Does he have chicken legs in real life?
Different. No, Bava, not.
Not
the boogeyman.
Sorry.
That would be awesome if John Wick 4, Keanu Reeves has chicken legs.
Oh my God. If at the last scene of the last John Wick movie, he finally takes his pants off and he's got chicken legs the whole time. Yeah. And that's why he's been called the Baba Yaga. Also, his cock is a little house.
And a little old woman comes out of it. He's like, damn you, John Wick.
Yeah, he comes old Russian peasant ladies.
The original Bad Boy podcast. Making it weird.
Every time he comes, like, Dos Vidania. Okay.
And it's got cool text when he says it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, they find the whale, but they go to rescue Brian Blessed in the prison, and it's really kind of, they just have Boone distract the guards, and then Duncan Jacks gets in there.
By the way, so here's where Duncan Jacks is an absolute fucking asshole. They're just prison guards doing their job, and he murders at least 2 of them to break this guy out. Like, that's not part of your job, dude. You just straight up murdered someone's probably working.
It's not part of the job. It's one of the perks.
Yeah, that's true. It is the only way he knows how to feel things. Yeah. Kill is the only way, the thrill of things.
Yeah, he doesn't blink a lot in this movie.
And he does that eye.
Yeah, it's so strange compared to the Duncan Jacks in Order of the Black Eagle.
So everybody at home, the people that aren't watching the live video stream, that being everybody but John, Duncan Jacks kind of raises his eyes, and we both did that. And I realized this is a video podcast, and I probably should tell you that. Because when
you hear my eyes?
When I did the monkey call to the arm earlier, at least I could hear. You could hear me slapping it. You can't hear my eyes opening in a hilarious way.
I'll add in. You know what I'll do? I'll add in some sounds of like I'll foley it. I'll do stirring macaroni and cheese. Just like
we are such on the same level. I was literally going to say macaroni and cheese sounds.
Yeah, it's because it's such a disgusting sound.
Yeah,
but he runs into the whale, who, as we said, it's the guy from. The guy looks like Brian Blessed from Order of the Black Eagle. He has a map to Dragon or Devil's Crown. That's why they need him so bad. And his jail cell is really nice. He's on the computer.
Yeah, it's sweet.
He's got a fireplace. It's real nice. But so he's like, why would I go? And Duncan Jacks basically puts a bomb on his arm. He's like, yep, you're going to go now. So the whale has been recruited, and they go back to, in order to escape, they have Boone throw a bunch of dynamite around to distract the guards. And then this helicopter lands. Rather than like landing and grabbing them, it just lowers ladders, and then they kind of have to hang on the ladders. And they make the whale do a lot of physical stuff in this, which I was not expecting. But yeah, so he's taking them out later. They have him running around. I was like, man,
he's running around. He's directing Pan's Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. He's doing all kinds of stuff.
He really looks like
a guest appearance on Barry.
Yeah, that's funny.
Then they get him back to the base, and they're all going, oh, like here's what we're gonna do. You get this random scene ever established other than just this moment where Duncan Jacks is on the horn with Echo, the bad guy. She's been feeding him info.
Oh yeah.
There's been never any indication that there's been someone on the inside or something like that. He's just like, oh, I have Echo. And she's like, oh, I'm going to try to help you out. Bullets encounters her making this recording or, making this radio signal thing and kills her. So bye-bye Echo. Actually, no, he doesn't kill her. He captures her, and then Scarlet Leader makes the piranhas eat her again. Which when they dunk the thing into the water, the harness that she's in the water, she screams and then goes underwater, and then the harness comes back up. It just looks like she fell out of the harness. It doesn't look like anyone, because it's not blood or anything like you said. So it just looks like, well, she got out, and I'm bored now.
Yeah, the blood would be helpful. So they basically, they gear up to try to break out. They try to steal the gold and this other thing that Duncan Jacks has been hinting around about. So they're basically there's an action sequence of them storming the beach. They come in on parachutes. They parachute down his truck, which, by the way, I thought that was so dumb. It's amazing, and it's going to be upped later.
Yeah, it's great because it is when you first seeing people jumping out of the planes. By the way, the old man earlier that was complaining about being old, he's been a spy for the bad guy in a way that doesn't matter, and he gets
I forgot about that.
Dispatched. It doesn't It was a really dumb through line. I think it was maybe supposed to throw you off the trail of who the Scarlet Leader might be. I don't know.
And honestly, it worked because I thought the Scarlet Leader was going to turn out to be that guy.
But they, when they start first parachuting, it's not them, it's a bunch of dummies. And you're going like, wait, those are clearly dummies. And then the guy's like, oh no, it's dummies. And the dummies just start exploding to cover for them parachuting later. And I thought that was hilarious.
It was.
Yeah, then they drop and then like they drop down and one team lands on the beach and they immediately start to work burying a guy. One of their fellow ninjas. They just start burying him on the beach, like, beach fun, wee.
And that's just so he can pop out and jump on the back of a dune buggy. Which, by the way, this
it's like long way to go.
This film series is obsessed with running over dudes with ATVs.
it's cool.
Yeah,
they didn't do it right the first time, so they went back to In Order of the Black Eagle. Like, we're really gonna
watch this.
But he, they lower his truck and they talk about how crazy it is that he lowered his truck. But I love that they bothered to do it.
Yes.
And in fact, it's a dumb little stunt. But when the truck is driving by and he runs over and hops on it, I actually thought that was kind of cool because it seems like something you could do, but you shouldn't do.
No, absolutely not.
And so, it looked neat.
I mean, all the stunt work in this is really good, kind of 80s stunt work.
Yeah. But there's a lot of like, the action's happening. Now it's not. Oh, now the action's happening again. Now it's not. It's very like the assault on the base is in stops and starts, and it's not great.
The problem is they have to keep cutting back to the in quotes bad guy, and the bad guy is like not at all imposing, and it's just it really slows things down. But like the stuff that's good is fun.
Yeah, so they just start doing that, and then they get the whale to try to find them, use the map to try to find them. It's got this electronic map that only he can read for whatever reason. To get into where the lair is. And what they're going to do is they're going to steal the gold that's down there and replace it with fake gold. So they won't know that it's gone. So they can destroy the bad guys, which is the purpose of their mission. Like the whole gold swap thing, it just seems like they're like, we can make some money on this. We're going to steal the gold.
I think that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we're not 100% on the up and up here. We're a little shady too. So we're going to steal the gold.
That's why I question where they get their authority from.
From them, from God.
On their way in, just on the stunt thing. So when they're sneaking into the compound, they go through an alligator pit, and some guy in a ninja suit pretending to be Duncan Jacks clamps two alligators' mouths shut with his hands to allow people to go through. But like, a person did that. Those are real alligators. Like,
were they real alligators, or were they like fake and he was like just waving them around?
No, those are real alligators. Because later there's a stunt where Duncan Jacks falls on an alligator and gets back up real quick. And like, you can't fake that. That's a real fucking alligator. It fell that. Like, maybe they tranked it or something, but like, they're like, whatever. It's a gator. Yeah.
But they eventually get in, and Duncan and his lady partner Gunner and the whale get into the throne room of the Scarlet Leader. And Duncan's like, okay, well, the gold's part of it, but yeah, we're going to steal. There's probably another treasure. We're going to look for it in here. There's just been rumors of it. Meanwhile, you keep cutting back to Goldtooth is on the way in the submarine with a captain who looks exactly like, it's supposed to be Jürgen Prochnow from Das Boot. Like, clearly just supposed to be.
Is that what they were referencing? I knew that was a reference to something. I didn't know what it was, though. Okay.
And it's just Goldtooth yelling at people. It's real annoying. I don't get anything out of it. He's not particularly funny.
I think it was supposed to be funny, but it really falls bad. It's bad improv is what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's just yelling at people. It's not great. But eventually, Boone has found the button to get them into the throne room, but also then Boone finds a button on the throne to raise the idol, the titular idol. And it's one of those giant Buddha statues that you see in like a giant Buddha statue
with massive nipples.
They're big.
There are some big ass nipples. Like, talk about titular. Like 80s, ridiculous.
Yeah, the person that was modeled off of had an issue, and maybe that issue made them holy. I don't know.
Or maybe had a lot of babies to feed, John. How about you stop shaming women?
I'm shaming a statue.
Yeah, of a man.
Of a man. Check me. But then Duncan Jacks, after they get it out of because it just rises up out of the water, and then there's another button that raises it out of the water and onto the land. It seems very much like a thing in a video game where it's just inexplicably why you would have that, but okay. Then Duncan Jacks is like, yeah, but check this out. And then like pops open the head like it's a cookie jar and all these jelly beans. I think they're supposed to be gems, but they just look like candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, that's the real treasure is all these gems and bugs. And everyone's like, oh my God. All these other people in the crew have been stealing the gold and replacing it with the fake gold, and Bugs has set up an explosive device in there. And so they're like, we got to get out of here with the idol. Oh, but the Scarlet Leader shows up, so Duncan Jax has to fight the Scarlet Leader. They do, and it's fine. It's, it's dudes in ninja costumes doing ninja stuff at each other, and then reveals that the Scarlet Leader is in fact China from the first scene, or the first few scenes. That, I legitimately did not expect that, because I had forgotten that person was in the movie.
It's me as well. It was a weird reveal. I don't really understand the logic behind it, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So it's China. I know it would make sense for why she was at the hotel, and then why she would be interested that he might be a ninja, because that must be her micro cassette. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she, like, he's like, oh, I don't fight women, even though he just did. They go their separate ways. They, out of respect, they go their separate ways, and the place starts blowing up. Explosives start going off. Gold member. Gold Tooth has gotten.
You were right the first time.
Gold member Tooth has gotten all the gold out, the fake gold out, and is loading it on the submarine. He's yelling at them about not doing it fast enough, which is just, that's so fun. That's so fun.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not the best part of the movie.
And then the ninjas, the good ninjas, all escape with hot air balloons again, including a hot air balloon that is attached to Duncan Jackson's truck. And it is controlled through a hand pump thing through the ceiling. It rules.
So here's the thing with this movie that we're talking about, and there's editing problems, there's tone problems. But when I think back on this movie, I'm going to remember joyfully laughing at a woman being pushed down a water slide in a wheelchair, and a shitty 80s truck being lifted up by a hot air balloon. And all the other stuff is just going to be wiped away with the rest of my memories. Like, everybody's birthday and anything important, or every episode of every show I've ever been on.
My mother's name is just balloons.
I remember my mother's name, Ma.
They all have hot air balloons. It's not like that was how to get the truck out of there. It's like that was their escape plan for which is not a great escape plan. Because we see that the leader, Scarlet Leader, has escaped. China has escaped in a plane and like buzzes by them. You think that, something's going to go down. No, she buzzes by them, then turns back around to salute Duncan Jax. Respect the game. Hey, I'll be fighting you later. Never happened.
Salute to you, good sir. I enjoyed your penis.
Yeah, and you stealing all my gold. Thanks. And then we get Gold Tooth, and he's like, this is awesome. Got all the gold now. And then he smells it and goes to bite into it with his gold teeth. All his teeth are gold. And he's like, this isn't gold. And then the sub blows up. Stock footage of a water explosion.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, R.I.P. that guy. The guy that apparently killed Duncan Jackson's dad.
And Duncan Jack goes, and there goes the man with the golden tooth. Which is, I get it that they're doing the James Bond thing, but it's so fucking, it's like, obvious is the wrong word. It's so like, it's like Family Guy humor. It's like, hey, remember this thing? Like, you're just saying a thing.
So there are parts of this movie that I really did enjoy that were really fun, but some of it is just, like I said, the pacing's really off and on. It did make me want to go back and rewatch Order of the Black Eagle. Yeah, because in my head now I'm like, it was so much more exciting. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It just had Cake Hitler. That was it.
Well, that's what I think about this too, is that I think in a few months we're going to look back and maybe remember it not working, but the only parts of the movie we're actually going to remember is, wheelchair lady,
right?
The other stuff, balloons, truck balloon.
It's like I remember 15 minutes of an hour and a half movie and be like, this was really good. And as those 15 minutes aren't like together, so I can't just sit down and watch those.
I mean, who knows? It's all part of the great mystery of the Duncan Jacksaverse. So people at home, if you haven't seen Order of the Black Eagle, definitely worth watching. This is. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's if this is on in the background, it
feels like this. It's a dated reference, but it feels like it'd be on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
on Fox. Just this Saturday afternoon, just whatever. It's dumb. There are worse ways to spend your time. There's much better ways to spend your time. But I had more fun than I actually expected to with it. I still don't like it that much. I'd still recommend Order of the Black Eagle more. Although I should probably watch it before I say that, but it's dumb and it's.
But Order of the Black Eagle was a lot more our style too, because I was like getting the gang back together and there was all that. There was that shootout in like kind of the Western bar and that dude's head got run over. So anyway,
and it was sillier. But I am glad that places out that like Vinegar Syndrome are around preserving these kind of movies, because they wouldn't they just get kind of lost in the dustbin of history. So anyone out there who's doing digital archiving or that kind of stuff, I'm all for it. Which there's a real shout out real quick to this company called Deaf Crocodile that has been doing some releases, but they also on their website you can rent their stuff like digitally. I don't know the prices or whatever, but I think that's really cool because it's like some of that stuff I'm interested in. I'm like, I don't know if I want to fork out a whole DVD, for a Blu-ray about it. But I could just rent it and check it out.
So on the DVD note, I should have watched my DVD that I have of this because I don't know if this is my bandwidth thing, but like the compression on this looked like fucking garbage on my TV. Oh, it looked fine for me. Oh, really? It looked like
it looked fine. Yeah.
Like you like you can kind of see the kind of wavy pixely thing, when video gets too compressed. The whole fucking movie was like that. It really looked like I mean, I'm also watching it on a rather big TV, so maybe it was just stretched too far and either way, I was like, damn, I wish I had a DVD of it. I mean, I do have a DVD. I wish I had gone in my closet, plugged in my DVD player, and already I'm tired of that idea. So it was never going to happen.
You want me to do two things? Yeah. No, I get it though. I fully understand.
So,
you could do worse. It's no John Wick, but John Wick 2, I should say.
Speaking of John Wick, hey John, Wick thing do you want to recommend to the audience?
Not that joke. I do not.
I don't even know if that counts as a joke, to be honest. That was like an insult to language.
Hey, we just watched Unmasking the Idol. That is absolutely a joke in the world of Unmasking the Idol.
That's 100 times better than any joke in Unmasking the Idol. But it's also really, really dumb and I'm glad I said it.
I have been watching, I uncovered doing some cleaning up around the house, and I uncovered a DVD that I had of Blast of Silence, which is a grimy little noir movie that's a lot of, that I enjoy a lot. It's done like all the narration is done in like second person, which is weird, where it's like, baby boy Frankie Bono, you know the score.
Weird.
But I enjoy it. It's only like 77 minutes long. I really enjoy it. And then I started watching on Max, HBO Max, whatever the hell they're trying to call it now, the Nick. It was on Cinemax when it aired, but it's got like Clive Owen.
I remember
it's supposed to be like it's doctors at the turn of the century in New York, and it's gnarly. Like the surgeries and stuff is really gross. But the first episode was directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I liked the style of it, and it was enough to keep me going to want to watch more. I will also say Clive Owen does a pretty good American accent. He's not in the Hugh Laurie, Benedict Cumberbatch weird R's kind of, I don't like Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange accent.
Agree on Benedict Cumberbatch, but I think Hugh Laurie's American accent got really good.
Hugh Laurie's fine. I think I'm associating with it because Benedict Cumberbatch is trying to do House, basically. And so in my head, that connects them, even though, Hugh Laurie's totally fine. Yeah. I have no beef. But so those would be my recommendations.
My recommendations go as such. I don't want to recommend the author. Maybe I do. I'm trying to say I haven't looked into this guy. So if he turns out he's some kind of weird Kevin Spacey type, or like he's like a sex pest or whatever, I don't know that. I just found his books, but I just read the Dispatcher series by John Scalzi. I'd heard that guy's name before.
I just straight up don't like him. I don't know that there's really? I don't think there's any sort of like Me Too weird Kevin Spacey stuff. I just don't like his style of writing. That's it.
So
not to undercut your stuff.
No, it's fine. We're allowed to like different things. Like, for instance, I actually read books, and your opinion means nothing. So the John Scalzi stuff, I've not read a lot of his books. I read I just read the Dispatcher series, novellas at best. I mean, maybe they even count a short story. And they're super good. Like, the first one's really great. Like, the crux of the story is, do I want to give this away? Yeah, it's not that big of it's in the first couple chapters. But like, a dispatcher is like, so at some point in like 10 years before the start of the book, anybody that gets murdered, 999 times out of 1,000, that person wakes up at home in bed. So like the first time it ever happened was some wife pushed her husband off of like a cliff while they're climbing. And then he wakes up on the other side of the world in his bed. And it was like, what the fuck? And the world kind of gets you. So they developed this thing called dispatcher. So if you die naturally, you just die. So if you're about to die naturally from like you get in a really bad accident and like you can't be saved, dispatchers are dudes that show up and basically just kill you. So you get a reset. You wake up in your bed, you're healed essentially. Like you go back to the state before you, whatever. And it becomes it's like a murder. It's like a sort of murder mystery, even though the world doesn't really have murderers anymore. I found it quite compelling. I can completely understand why his writing style would get on someone's nerves. It's very modern and leans into modern. There's a lot of reference to cell phones. There's a lot of I wouldn't say pop culture references, but like it's very modern.
There's a podcast that started a bit of a controversy with him that referred to his work, among others, but they sort of singled him out as squeecore, a style of literature, and it's kind of like Whedon-y sort of stuff. They go into it more. I forget what the name of the podcast is.
I could see where that's coming from.
It started a thing with him, but yeah. And I've read Red Shirts by him, and it was a thing where it's like, oh, it's sort of like a Star Trek book, but it's about, the Red Shirts. And I was really disappointed in that. And then he got really annoying in the whole Gamergate thing, even though like he was on the correct side of things, he was still just an annoying man.
Yeah. That's why I preface this. I know nothing about him.
Unfair to him. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, that shouldn't matter. Cause he, like I said, he's not like a Me Too guy or something. I just think he's annoying. And
yeah,
I'm being unfair about it, but I'm glad you enjoyed the book.
Yeah, no, I did. I like so much to the point that I may like read his other stuff, but like his style, I could see getting on people's nerves. Like it actually reminds me of Brandon Sanderson a little bit, where it's like, this is really good storytelling. Like, it's not the most shiny, wonderful thing. There's a lot of problems, very tropey, but it's like, I enjoy this. Like you're giving me,
it's fine.
My pleasure centers are going off. As someone that went to school for writing, I have no defense. Like this is not. These are. It's like just a fun. It's like Poirot, where it's like no one's gonna say they're the best written thing in the world, but like they're super fun. Everybody likes them.
I mean, we just did a thing about Unmasking the Idol. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like I had fun watching. I shouldn't, but I've been enjoying these kind of things. So
yes.
All right. So for next time, we are going to take a recommendation from Patreon member Steve, who suggested that we watch Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, and so we are going to do just that. It's a movie from a little while ago. It's got 2002. It's got Sam Rockwell, directed by George Clooney. Drew Barrymore is in it as well. I watched it a long time ago. I really don't remember much about it, but so I'm excited to revisit it. I don't remember much.
First Drew Barrymore on Jaws?
Possibly. I think so.
Might be first Clooney as well.
That's a good question. I had to stop and go, wait a minute, he wasn't in Reign of Fire. What a horrible thing to think about a person.
Yeah, I'm glad I ruined you.
I'm sorry, George Clooney. You deserve better than that.
Sam Rockwell. Did we do Moon on the show?
No, we did. Well, you did Mute, which he's in as his character from Moon.
Oh. So whatever, who cares? Again, somebody needs to make that comprehensive Excel sheet of everybody that's ever been in movies that are on. Tonight's episode is really easy. You just have to have like 3 people and you never have to have a cross-reference. So Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, we're going to watch that. I'm excited. I know almost nothing about it other than Chuck Berry. What's his name? Hugh Laurie?
Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris. That's the guy from the Big 3 podcast. A joke for 2 people. And that's it. So we'll see you next time. Follow us on Twitter at JawsPod, Instagram. No, we don't have an Instagram. We have a TikTok, which probably is not going to last very long in America. But, if you want it, come find us there.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Minnesota or it's one of those states banned it now. Which, I mean, it's not going to work, but, I think that maybe the writing might be a little on the wall and we'll just, Instagram stories. Great.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever. We'll figure it out.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.